Whenever you find a piece of land that you might be interested in purchasing, there are a number of things that you need to check out before you actually agree to purchase it. And in fact, I have a checklist that I use and it has multiple items on there, and I'll make that available to you at the end of this video. Today, we're going to look at one aspect of that, and that's railway lines. There are, with railway lines, a couple of areas. There are cost implications and there are planning implications, and we're going to look at this in a short video that I recorded back in January 2020. If you've never been to this channel, my name's Jim J. Davidson, and I've been involved in property since 1973, when my brother and I purchased a flat in the student area of Edinburgh. And we rented out two of the rooms, and we kept two of the rooms for ourselves. And that provided us with an income at a very young age, in fact. I was only 16 at that time. Since then, I've made lots of mistakes. I've done lots of developments. But I'll tell you what I do know is that I don't know everything. But what I do know, I hope will help you. So let's now go and have a look at that clip, and I will come back to you with a message at the end of this video. For context, we are in the find it stage and we are looking at the detail stage. Now it's not apparent from here, but over there, that embankment there is a railway line, and that's going to cause a couple of issues when you go for planning. One is they're going to want to make sure that the noise coming from that railway line is not going to disturb the occupants of that house. And now that might seem quite extraordinary, because actually over there, and I'll just show you in a moment, there is a house. And so you would think, well, if the noise is okay for them, then what would be the difference here? But of course, any new builds, that would be the case. It's really getting quite wet here, so I'm just going to put my hood up a bit, and hopefully you can still hear me. As you can see, it's got the old signal boxes there. I don't think that's particularly live. But what they have done on this particular plot is they have built up the embankment there, which is clearly to try and stop some of the noise. What is likely to happen when it goes to planning, there's two issues that they're going to want addressed. One, as I've spoken about before, is the noise. So they'll be interested to know what level of noise that there is. And the second thing is trespassing, because that's a railway line. The railway authorities don't want anybody running on to the railway line, obviously from a safety point of view, but also is protecting their assets. And the person that they're going to ask to do that is you, the owner of the piece of ground. So even though you may go all the way up and down this line, there won't necessarily be any fencing. And historically, if you look over at this particular one here, I suspect that there's no fencing there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So what will be required by the planning authority? They will want a sound survey done, and that's obviously going to cost some money. And the sound survey will measure, they will look at the frequency of the number of trains, the period of when the trains come by, the speed that the trains go at in terms of noise impact, and they will want to know what that sort of noise impact is when you've got windows open, when you've got windows closed. But particularly when windows are open, because their theory is in a hot summer's night, you're going to want the windows open. So, and therefore you're going to be impacted by that noise. So it's just one of the things that they're going to look at. Let's just have a look at what the existing arrangement is over there. Well, the fencing, there's a very, very small post and rail fence that's there. And then that's the embankment that you can see where the railway line runs along. So in fact, there is no existing fencing, but that doesn't preclude you from having to provide it. And indeed, the fence on this plot is fairly minimal. So they're going to want, I would suspect, some sort of high security fencing to stop people going onto the tracks. I doubt that they're going to accept that, even though historically there's nothing they can do about the property that was already existing there before. So I hope you found that useful, and as promised, I will make that checklist that I talked about in the beginning of this video available to you. There's a link in the description box which will take you to that place where you can download your own copy of that checklist. If you've, again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then I'd appreciate you doing that. It really encourages me to make more videos. I'm looking to make some more videos based on that checklist, so I'm hoping you will find that useful. And incidentally, if you do subscribe, remember to hit that notification bell, because then you'll be notified as soon as I upload a future video. And also, I would appreciate a like on the video, just so that people realize if this is of value. Of course, only if you thought this was of value, please do that, but I would really appreciate that. Until the next video, next week, take care, and I look forward to speaking to you then.